My friend, tonight I want to share with you one of the deepest truths about manifestation that can completely transform the way you see your life. It is a principle so powerful that once you truly understand it, you will never look at your desires, your struggles, or your circumstances the same way again. Many people come to this point with the same hidden frustration. They have tried affirmations, visualization, positive thinking, and countless techniques. They have repeated the words, imagined the outcome, and tried to believe with all their strength. Yet somehow, their desires still seem distant. They feel as if what they want is always close, but never fully arriving. And they begin to question themselves, wondering if they are missing something, or if this law works for everyone except them. Tonight, you will understand why this happens and how you can change it. The secret is not about forcing life to give you something or chasing your desires harder. It is about understanding the power that is creating your experience every single moment. There is a powerful statement in the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Many people interpret the word as spoken language, but the deeper meaning goes beyond sound. The word is your inner conversation, the invisible dialogue happening inside your mind all day long. It is the story you constantly tell yourself about who you are, what you deserve, what is possible for you, and what your life means. It is the quiet voice that comments on your relationships, your finances, your abilities, your future, and your circumstances. That inner conversation is the creative force behind your reality, because your outer experience is a reflection of the assumptions, beliefs, and conversations you repeatedly accept within yourself. Let me share a story that reveals this perfectly. A woman once came forward after a lecture, carrying the exhaustion of someone who had been holding on to the same pain for years. Her son had become distant from her, and for 3 years they had barely spoken. She had tried everything she could think of. She used affirmations, imagined their relationship being restored, and even traveled a great distance, hoping to reconnect. But every attempt ended with disappointment. Then she began examining something she had never paid attention to before, the conversation happening inside her mind. She discovered that every day she was silently repeating thoughts like, "Why does my son avoid me? What did I do wrong? Will he ever forgive me? And maybe things will never be the same again." For years, she had unknowingly been returning to the same emotional state, continuously giving energy and attention to the feeling of being separated. The problem was not just what had happened in the past. The deeper issue was the identity she continued to accept in the present moment. She was living from the state of a mother who was abandoned, instead of the state of a mother who was already loved and connected. The advice she received was simple. Change the inner conversation. Stop speaking internally from the place of loss and begin imagining the reality you desire as if it already exists. She began creating a new mental experience. She imagined hearing her son's voice. She imagined their conversations being warm and natural. She felt gratitude for their restored connection and practiced becoming the version of herself who already experienced reconciliation. Soon after, her son reached out. He apologized, expressed his desire to rebuild their relationship, and the connection they both wanted began returning. This is the power of consciousness. Your inner world creates a pattern, and your outer world eventually reflects that pattern back to you. Your heart does not respond to what you simply say you want. It responds to the state you consistently live in. Many people say they want abundance, but their private conversations tell a different story. They say they desire wealth, but inside they constantly repeat, "I never have enough. Everything is too expensive," or "money is difficult to earn." The words they speak aloud are not as powerful as the beliefs they repeatedly entertain in silence. The reality you experience follows the dominant state you occupy, and the speed of manifestation is connected to the consistency of your inner assumption. When your thoughts, emotions, and inner conversations become aligned with your desired reality, you remove the conflict that keeps you feeling separate from it. The moment you stop creating from doubt and begin creating from certainty, everything begins to shift. Tonight, before you sleep, do not begin by trying to fix every thought in your mind. Instead, simply become aware. Listen to your inner conversation. Notice what story you are repeating about yourself, your future, your relationships, and your possibilities. Do not judge it, do not fight it. Just observe it, because awareness is the first step toward transformation. The moment you recognize the conversation creating your reality, you gain the ability to choose a new one. And when your inner world changes, your outer world must eventually follow. What you are about to understand is that your current inner conversation is not just random thinking. It is a direct reflection of the state you are living in. And your circumstances are like a mirror, faithfully showing the beliefs and assumptions that have been repeated within you. Everything you see around you has been influenced by the story you have consistently told yourself. The difficult relationship, the financial struggles, the delayed opportunities, and the recognition you desire but have not received are all connected to the internal conversations that have been running quietly in your mind. This is why many people spend hours visualizing, repeating affirmations, reading books, and searching for answers, yet nothing appears to change. Beneath their conscious effort, another conversation is still operating. They may say they are abundant, but inside, they are thinking about lack. They may say they are loved, but internally, they are questioning why love has not arrived. The deeper conversation always has more power because it represents the state they truly occupy. Your repeated inner dialogue is the real creative force. Everything else is only a surface action. When you transform the conversation happening within you, you begin transforming the world that appears around you. But this change does not happen through force, and it does not come from repeating words you do not believe while secretly feeling the opposite. The transformation happens when you assume a new state of being and allow your thoughts to naturally come from that place. Imagine a woman who deeply desires marriage. She may repeat hundreds of times every day, "I am happily married." But if the conversation inside her mind during ordinary moments sounds like, "Why hasn't he appeared yet? What is wrong with me? And why does everyone else find love except me?" then she is still living in the state of separation. Her repeated affirmations cannot overcome the deeper assumption she continuously returns to. But when she truly enters the consciousness of someone who is already loved, valued, and cherished, something changes. Her inner conversation begins to shift naturally. Instead of wondering when love will come, she begins feeling the reality of love already present. Her thoughts become, "I love the connection we share, I enjoy the way we communicate, and I am grateful for the beautiful life we are creating together." These thoughts do not feel forced because they belong to the state she has accepted. They are not created through effort. They naturally emerge from the identity she has chosen. This is the law. The state you consistently occupy must eventually express itself in your experience. The ancient words, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end," reveal something much deeper than many people realize. They point to the power of the awareness within you, the I am that defines your experience. Your inner conversation is the daily expression of what you believe yourself to be. When you constantly tell yourself, "I am struggling, I am waiting, or I am trying to get there," you are identifying yourself as someone who is still searching and has not yet received. You are creating an identity based on delay. But when your inner dialogue begins coming from completion, everything changes. You stop speaking as someone who is chasing a future reality and start speaking as someone who already belongs to it. This is the secret behind rapid manifestation. Your consciousness must move from wanting to having, from searching to experiencing, from hoping to knowing. Let's take financial abundance as an example. Many people use statements like, "Money is coming to me," "I am attracting wealth," or "One day I will be financially free." Although these words sound positive, they can secretly keep you focused on the idea that wealth exists somewhere in the future. They place abundance in a state of arrival instead of a state of being. Someone who naturally identifies with abundance thinks differently. Their inner conversation sounds like, "I love how easily opportunities appear in my life. I enjoy having more than enough. And I am grateful for the freedom and choices I have." One mindset is waiting for abundance, while the other is living from abundance. The first creates a journey towards something. The second creates a reality where that thing already feels normal. Assume the state, and your world begins organizing itself around that assumption. Some people struggle with this idea because they ask, "Isn't this just pretending? Aren't I ignoring reality?" But what you call reality is often nothing more than the visible result of previous invisible thoughts. Your current circumstances are not the final truth of who you are. They are the reflection of past assumptions, past beliefs, and past conversations. What you see today is a picture of yesterday's consciousness. A photograph does not create the person standing in front of it. It only shows what already happened. In the same way, your current life is showing you a previous state of awareness. And because your inner world can change, your outer world can change as well. The unseen creates the seen. Your circumstances were not created by what is visible around you. They were created by the invisible conversations you repeatedly carried within yourself. Changing those conversations is not deception. It is understanding the true nature of creation. Consider the story of a young teacher who was given a classroom known as the most difficult in the school. Other teachers warned her about the students. They were known for being disruptive, unmotivated, and exhausting to teach. Before she even entered the classroom, fear had already created a story in her mind. They will never listen. This year will be impossible, and I am not strong enough for this. Her inner conversation was preparing her experience before it even began. Then she discovered this principle. Instead of fighting the situation, she decided to assume a different identity. She chose to become the teacher whose classroom was inspiring, respectful, and filled with students who enjoyed learning. She did not simply repeat empty positive words, she entered a new state. Her internal dialogue changed. She began thinking, "My students continue to surprise me. I love watching their curiosity grow, and teaching this class is one of the most rewarding parts of my life." Even when the outside world had not immediately changed, she remained faithful to this new inner state. Within weeks, the atmosphere began transforming. Students who rarely participated started engaging. The disruptive behavior began fading. The classroom that everyone feared became one that other teachers wanted to observe. People called it her special talent. They called it teaching magic. But it was not magic. It was the result of a changed consciousness producing a changed experience. Her assumption created a new reality, and the people and circumstances around her began reflecting that new state. Now consider something even deeper. Your inner conversation does not only affect how you experience yourself, it also influences how you experience other people. The way you constantly imagine others, the expectations you hold about them, and the assumptions you carry about their behavior all shape the relationship you experience with them. This is the deeper meaning behind the ancient teaching of loving your enemies and blessing those who oppose you. It is not only about morality, it is also about understanding the power of consciousness. When you change the inner picture you hold of another person, you change the way they appear in your world. Your assumptions become the lens through which you experience life. When someone in your life hurts you, disappoints you, or treats you unfairly, the first question is not, "What is wrong with this person?" The deeper question is, what conversation am I constantly having about this person inside my own mind? Look closely at your inner dialogue. Are you replaying their mistakes? Are you returning to old arguments, imagining what you should have said, or constantly proving why they were wrong? Are you repeatedly describing them as difficult, selfish, disrespectful, or someone who does not appreciate you? Because the conversation you continue to hold internally is not meaningless. It is creating and maintaining a certain version of that person in your experience. You may not consciously choose conflict, but consciousness responds to the assumptions and beliefs you repeatedly accept. A woman once shared her struggle with her relationship with her mother-in-law. For years, there had been tension, criticism, and emotional distance between them. Every time she thought about her mother-in-law, the same thoughts returned. She will never accept me. She always notices my mistakes. Nothing I do will ever be enough. Without realizing it, she was continuously reinforcing the exact relationship she wanted to change. She was advised to transform the inner conversation she carried about her mother-in-law and begin assuming the state of a loving, peaceful, and supportive relationship. She started imagining kindness, understanding, and connection. Her thoughts slowly changed into, "She appreciates me. We enjoy our conversations. I am grateful for the relationship we share." At first it felt difficult because the outside circumstances seemed completely opposite to the new assumption she was creating. But she remained consistent. Over time, small changes appeared. The criticism softened, conversations became warmer, and the relationship gradually moved from tension toward genuine affection. The external person did not change because she forced them to. The transformation began because the inner image she held of that person changed first. Your outer experience responds to the state you consistently maintain within. Many people believe their desires are delayed because time is standing between them and what they want. They imagine there is a perfect moment in the future when everything will finally happen. But often, the feeling of delay is created by the very conversations they repeat every day. When your inner dialogue says, "I am improving," "I am getting closer," or "I am slowly moving forward," it may sound positive, but it still places your desire somewhere ahead of you. You are identifying yourself as someone who is becoming rather than someone who already is. The mind that constantly focuses on progress creates a reality where progress continues but completion remains distant. The creative power within you responds to the state you occupy now. This is why your inner conversation must come from fulfillment rather than from waiting. Instead of saying, "My business is growing," begin feeling, "I love how successful and meaningful my work has become." Instead of saying, "I am healing," begin identifying with strength, vitality, and wholeness. "My body is strong. I feel energized and alive." The difference is not simply the words you use, it is the identity behind those words. One person is standing outside the door hoping to enter, while the other is already inside experiencing the reality they desire. A man who had struggled financially for years discovered this truth. He believed he was thinking positively because he often told himself, "Things are getting better, I am moving toward prosperity, and my debts are slowly decreasing." But these statements kept his mind focused on a future where abundance would eventually arrive. He was always approaching prosperity, but never experiencing it as his present state. He was encouraged to shift his inner conversation toward completion. "I love having more than enough. Money flows easily into my life. I am financially free." At first, these thoughts felt unfamiliar because his current circumstances did not yet reflect them. But he continued to live from this new assumption. Soon, unexpected opportunities appeared, an old investment produced results, and a new connection transformed his work. What others might call coincidence was the natural reflection of a changed inner state. But there is one essential element that gives your inner conversation its creative power: feeling. Words alone are not enough. You can repeat a statement thousands of times, but if there is no emotional acceptance behind it, those words remain empty. Mechanical repetition without a shift in consciousness does not create transformation. The power comes when your words are connected with the feeling of already experiencing what you desire. Imagine someone who wants a loving marriage. She can repeat, "I am happily married." But if those words are spoken without emotion or inner acceptance, they carry no creative energy. But when she enters the feeling of being deeply loved, valued, and understood, her inner conversation changes naturally. She begins thinking, "I love the moments we share. He knows how to make difficult days feel lighter. I never knew love could feel this peaceful and complete." These thoughts are powerful because they come from a lived emotional state rather than empty repetition. Words connected to feeling become alive, and living words create living experiences. One of the most powerful moments for your inner conversation is the time before sleep. The space between wakefulness and sleep is a deeply receptive state where the conscious mind becomes quieter and the deeper mind becomes more open to impressions. Yet many people enter sleep carrying the weight of the entire day. They replay worries, revisit problems, imagine future struggles, and focus on the distance between where they are and where they want to be. Then they fall asleep with that final conversation becoming an instruction impressed upon their deeper mind. Your subconscious does not question the thoughts you repeatedly give it. It accepts them and builds from them. The inner conversation you carry into sleep becomes a blueprint for the experiences you continue to create. So before you rest, choose your final thoughts with awareness. Do not fall asleep rehearsing problems. Fall asleep in the feeling of peace, love, abundance, fulfillment, and the reality you desire to experience. Because the conversation you have with yourself when no one else is listening is shaping the world you will eventually see. Here is a profound statement in the Gospel of John. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Many people understand this as referring to spoken language, but the deeper meaning reaches far beyond physical words. The Word represents the creative power within consciousness, the inner dialogue, assumptions, beliefs, and mental stories that shape the way you experience yourself and your world. The key is to stop identifying with the problem and start identifying with the solution. Instead of asking, "Why hasn't it happened yet?" shift into the feeling of fulfillment. I am loved. I am abundant. I am supported. I am already becoming the person who experiences this reality. Our inner conversation is the hidden force shaping your reality. Manifestation is not only about saying affirmations or visualizing desires. It is about the identity, beliefs, and emotional state behind your thoughts. The thoughts you repeatedly accept become assumptions, and those assumptions influence how you experience life. If you constantly think from a place of lack, fear, or waiting, you continue creating experiences that reflect those feelings. But when